Hello, hello. It's me, Mike Bauer, and welcome to the first episode of What Else Can We Do With This? You know, one of the differences between a player and a musician is when a musician learns something new, they'll ask themselves questions like, so what is this? And why does it work? And what else can I do with it? On this first episode, we're going to look at Led-Zeppelin's solo to Whole Lotta Love. It's just 6 licks, but there's so much we can do with what Jimmy Page gives us. So if we look at the first lick, he goes. All right, so pretty standard fare in the 12th position up here. Now, just that lick alone, there's so much we could take from that. Even if we looked at just say the first 2 notes, right? I said, I could go, right, just the first couple of things he does. He bends from 14 to 16 on the G, and then plays the same note fretted on the 12th fret B. I mean, that's a lick in itself, and you could have a lot of fun with that. Like, I mean, something Chuck Berry gave us. But you could go like, you could also play them harmonically like this. Right? Actually, also sounds like Jimmy Page. And people like Page and Van Halen, Ted Nugent comes to mind, people that have played stuff like that. Basically just playing little melodies. Right? And that's just from the first 2 notes of what he's doing. Let's say we take the first 3 notes of it now. Right? So that lick, if we just moved it down to 5th position, it would be in the key of A, and you went, sounds like Ace Frehley from Kiss. So I encourage you to take these licks, or even parts of these licks, and put them in other keys to see what they sound like, what they feel like. Obviously, it's a little harder to bend. We put it in F, you know. All right, so first 3 notes of the first lick. All right, now add a little bit more. Oh my goodness, that's another big one. So if I bend and say I do a pull-off at the end, right there, whole other licks. So far, we've got 3 or 4 licks just out of the first lick he does. And so far, he's just been in the E minor pentatonic / blues position up here on the 12th fret. Okay. Now, on the second lick, you have this. Right? So now he's taking pretty much the same scale, but down an octave where you have open strings. So if you're not familiar with the open position of this, now this second lick is really cool because it has a little country in it. You got, so he slides right there. So you have this 2nd fret on the G up to the 4th, and then you got the B string 3rd fret, and then a pull off. Now this right here, I did a whole video on this lick. I like to call it the Figaro pull-off lick, and if you check out my video on hammer-ons and pull-offs, I unpack this lick and show you a zillion places where it shows up in classic rock. But anyway, right there, that's a great lick right there. And then he goes into this pull-off, down, up, right? That's a great pattern. Like, you could do that on every string. You could go, right? Real slow. I'll just do it here. Pull off, down, up, pull off. And that's a pattern in itself. All right, on to the 3rd lick, right? 3rd lick, now you've got. So it starts off the same way as the first lick. And then you're going to bend twice. And then you got this. And that, for me, is the payoff of that lick. You've got this bend from 15 to 17. And then you sneak in the finger on 15 on the higher string. And you can let them ring together or separate. Either way works, but that's really cool. You can run with that idea. So try it on a different string. Right? We could even get weird and get onto the next string, right? Or kind of brings us into Jeff Beck territory. But again, just running with an idea. You could also play them harmonically where you go, right? Fourth lick. That's so much fun. All right, so now Jimmy Page comes out of that first position of the pentatonic box. He bypasses the second one and goes up to the third position of it. So now he's finding the root note of the key on the B string with his first finger, right? So he's gonna go, so this is still the pentatonic blues scale. So he goes, and now he's gonna do a step and a half bend. Honestly, I think he goes further than that. I think he bends a G note all the way up to a C when I listened to it again this morning. But most people say it's a step and a half, basically bending up to a B flat or a B natural. In fact, Jimmy Page is known for that bend. You hear it in Dazed and Confused and lots of other, right, that kind of thing. It's a real attention getter lick. So basically what I like to tell people is just bend from that note and take it as far as you can go. Right? When you do that, it's just everybody kind of turns their head and goes, whoa! So on top of that, next, he grabs at a note from the major pentatonic, which he hasn't played yet in the solo. So he goes, ooh. So he's blending the major pentatonic with the minor pentatonic. So he's got this note, which is the C sharp, which is the sixth, the natural sixth of the key, which is not in the minor pentatonic, but it is in the major pentatonic. And the minor pentatonic notes would be root, minor third, fourth, fifth, and flat seven. And the notes of the major pentatonic would be root, second, third, fifth, and natural sixth. So on this lick, he's like, crazy bend, and then from the minor pentatonic to a major pentatonic note, and then ending back on the major pentatonics. So one of the first things I would do with a lick like this is try to put it in some other keys so you know where to place it when you want it. So again, we're starting on the root on the B string. So say we put it in the key of A, we just have to find A on the B string. So, right, that would be an A. So I wanted to put it in D, right? All right, on to the fifth lick. He stays in the same position up here, first finger on the 17th fret on the B string, and now he's gonna go somewhere a little different. All right, so he again is going to go to the major pentatonic. He's gonna bend from the fifth to the natural sixth, which is a major pentatonic note, not a minor pentatonic one. So you got root and then fifth to the sixth. So that is a note that's not in the minor pentatonic. So. And then he's going to come back down to the fifth, flat five, so it's blues scale, and then a pull off. Now he may pick one and pull off one, I'm not sure, but however you want to articulate that, it's a little unclear. I'm sure he plays it differently depending on what mood he's in as far as the articulation. So, and again, super cool lick because he's up to that six, which is a bright note from the major pentatonic, but then he's into the blues scale, which has the flat five, which is, has a little bit of a sinister sound. Right? So again, blending these two scales. And again, I would take that and move it around to other keys just so you can see what it looks like in other places. I'll put it in a strange key. How about A flat? All right? So that, which would be on the 9th fret on the B. All right. And you could practice playing in your minor pentatonic box and then trying to find that position so you can get those licks because they're really cool. So say I'm in A flat, right, basing around the pentatonic box on the 4th fret, right, and then be able to go and just kind of get that Jimmy Page thing going on. Also in this area, you've got some cool stuff to play around with. So the blues scale notes, right, up here, high up. So if that's your root, which is really the same as this, right, but 2 octaves higher. So, and you can play a lot, right, taking his ideas. And that's a really cool spot on the guitar. And for the last lick, he stays there still. And on this one, he pretty much goes all major pentatonic. So we're there again up on 17. So you go, and then 2 bends up to the major third. All right, no minor pentatonic at all. And then you're gonna play this note right here, the 17th fret on the E string, and then 19th fret. So that's a really cool lick, very bright and positive, happy, optimistic. Now, some people say that he's actually gonna bend up to this A note on the B string here, and then goes up another half step instead of fretting the E string, and then goes to the E string finally there. Either way is fine, that's really cool too. Go bend, bend, bend a little more. And that's pretty cool, like, right? It's a little bit more tension there if you actually bend that note. And then, okay. But either way, if you want to just get a solid note right here on the E string, I like to play it that way. Either way is fine. Super cool lick. So one of the things you could do next is play around just on these 2 strings in this position with the minor pentatonic blues notes and the major pentatonic notes, just to differentiate between the 2 of them. So if we did something like, right? But then you have, and those would be your minor pentatonic blues notes, right? Just on 2 strings, yeah, because he's really just playing on 2 strings here. So if you like, but then you add the major notes. And just knowing the difference again. So what a great solo. My takeaways, well, it's super tasteful stuff. 6 killer licks. Love how he starts off in the main pentatonic box, but then jumps up 2 positions of the pentatonic up and does a combination of some major and minor pentatonic stuff. Really cool with a wild bend, just real attention getter stuff. And again, from there, I would just move this stuff into other keys, onto other string groups, see if there's any patterns that can be created, like in that country run that he did. That's the way that I've looked at this solo and see how much I can squeeze from it. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to being back with you next week, and look for another episode of this series soon. Please remember to hit like and subscribe. And if you'd like even more from me, check out my course, Take It From the Top, at MikeBauerMusic.com.